Hey, what's up everybody? So I finally got all the pieces to my PC, and I don't know shit about building. I just seen a lot of videos and I did a lot of planning, so we'll see how this goes. There are a lot of tips and tricks I've picked up, so hopefully I can spew out as much as I can. If you need any nerd facts or whatever, I'll post links to everything I bought. And you need a good budget. The one thing you should do beforehand, before starting anything else, so it is very likely that when you do buy your pieces, some may come faulty. So if you can, always get a PSU with a adapter that checks the voltage. If not, grab a paperclip. And I believe on the third and fourth one, you would have to pop it in and then with the switch off, turn it on and see if your fan starts spinning. I did it no problem. I just yanked it out after I unplugged everything and turned it all off. But if everything is good and it's all plugged in and you don't do this, and this is what's messed up, this can mess everything else up and you'd have to rebuy all of your pieces. When you set up your motherboard, there's standoff screws. It's always set up in 4s or 6s for a mini. So if you want, always just make sure you install the rest so it's easier to lay it on. I went with this specific model because it has SD card readers. And since I just got this camera, time to put this to use. Additionally, I also did pre-install my SSD drive. Voila. So you can have traditional RPM hard drives, but SSD cards are much faster at reading programs. You can get both and have your programs on this and memory on the hard drive, but for now I'm just sticking to this. Of course, before you start any of this, please make sure that you're grounded, which basically means no sweaters or watches, because even though this technology is dormant, it still has currents in it, it's still alive. So if something touches something in the wrong place, I really have no idea where the hell to begin or what to do, but let's get it. Almost everything you buy comes with more than you need, so you'll be just fine with whatever. But always look into your water coolers or whatever you use to cool your system to see if it comes with thermal paste. Another quick tip, whenever you're handling your parts, always avoid touching parts that aren't visible to you because they're very fragile. Watch me drop this shit too. Now that aside, it's time for the actual processor. I picked up a Ryzen AMD 9. Hold up, can you see that? Yeah! This is what $500 in technology looks like, with a little sticker if you want to show it off. Holy shit, this looks like a whole ass brain. Jesus. So there is a little tiny gold arrow right here, and that has to line up to a corner on the motherboard. So apparently with most CPUs, there's like a whole socket here, and mine is just the basic, it's right there. Come on. Yo, I'm fucking terrified right now. Alright, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Oh shit, look at that, look at this. Oh wow! Alright, now I was confused about one thing. When you buy a processor, it comes with a sort of cooler. But if you do buy a separate one, like me, I bought this liquid cooler. Because apparently if you use water or liquid, that cools it much faster. You would basically just keep that in the box until whenever you found it useful, or if you had to switch it out for whatever reason. Now, if you guys can read that fine print, you see where it says A2 and B2 first? Those are the first slots you occupy with your RAM sticks. So A2, B2, and I had bought a 32 gigabyte with 16 sticks. Okay, now they are cut a certain way, so you have to make sure this little hole lines up to the pegs that's in there. And here's one. So now comes the fun part. I'm gonna install this into the case. And for some people, if your motherboard doesn't come with an IO shield, which is basically the silver plate, make sure you buy one that does have one, or like this one comes with it pre-installed. Always pay attention to which screws you use because there are always going to be variations. And it really does make a difference between which ones you use. So yeah, they're the same, but they're really not. Alright, so never mind. It was much smarter to install it face down. Now if your case comes with a pre-installed fan and it's in the way, just unscrew the shit. Alright, now that this thing's snug and fit, I'm gonna screw this back in. Fuck, which way did it go? Now, as I've said, this is gonna be all over the place. I've forgotten where most of the cables belong, and I'm a little confused when it says this 3-pin cable needs to be going into somewhere. Sorry, here where it says the 1, that's cable 1. So 4 is gonna be exposed. Wow. So for me, the system fan 1 is on top, and 1 is here on top. I believe these are also referred to as SATA cables. These come with your processor. No. Yeah. No, your motherboard. What the f? There's an L shape inside of your cables, so always make sure that you're lining it up to where it is on the thingy. Oh, okay. Alright, so don't get confused if there's cables like this, because this connects to one hard drive and that connects to the next one, the next and next. If not, just use the end and just to connect it to the motherboard. Yo, if you're not gonna focus, for the smaller cable that goes inside of your hard drive or whatever, you have to put it right here in the SATA slots. Some motherboards do come with the M.2, so if you have those long chip SSDs, then that's where it would go, but if not, right here. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Actually, you can stay right there. And voila, this is my graphics card. Now, your graphics card is going to be worth an investment because it is the most expensive thing, actually. The second most expensive piece that you've had to pay for in any process would be the processor. Ooh! Alright, damn, so this shit is heavy. What you want to do is open up this part right here. So I've seen a lot of people guesstimate and pop out these slots, but honestly, just play it safe. Unscrew this. Fuck, did the Terminator screw this shit in? Okay, so with this case out of the way, what I recommend doing at this point is lining up this part. Is that covered or is it me? Oh, it is covered. So there are 2 slots for this, up top and below, but it's always recommended on top for most speed. So line that up. But also measure on this side how many slots you would need for your vents to have the air it needs. You gotta go. Oof, let's get it, guys, let's get it. So you do always want to apply pressure and make sure that does click. That is supposed to click. When I click these, or actually when I push them in and lock them manually, they fell right out. So you literally need to jam 1, 2, and 3 in. Okay, don't listen to me. So you gotta put on your shield first, depending which one you have. I'm still putting this back on. And from here, securing it. See, your power supply unit, which is the shit that goes into the wall, usually comes with a whole bunch of these. So even though this is a PCIe, you would have to connect 2 of them like this. Plug it into one hole. And with the other, just leave the other unplugged and plug that bitch in. And then this end would have to go into the power supply unit. So I have made this build harder for myself since I have a modular PSU. Even though it lets me select which pieces I use and which ones I don't, I still need to know what goes here before I put this in, because it's a whole mess to put it in. So this is the CPU cable. You have to connect these 2 and plug it into the CPU power slot, and then this one into the power supply unit. Alright, so now that my system fan, graphics card, SSD, and motherboard are all Gucci, I'm going to start going through everything that comes with my case using the case instruction manual, whatever. And I'm going to slowly start configuring each one. I won't show that because my camera's dying. And all cases come with the same option because mine also has an SD reader and a micro SD reader. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Man, when I told you this took me a hot minute, there's so many pieces you have to look for, and since mine is like an Elite or whatever, it comes with more slots than I need, so a lot of shit is going to be left empty. Oof. Alright, so this is the coolant that goes into the tubing. Got my 2 fans that connect to this radiator. That gets connected to this radiator piece right here. Whoa, 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 whoa! And that's the thing that goes directly onto the processor. Always think about where you want the fans to go. So since I'm gonna have mine this way, I'm gonna have my fans installed like so the cables face out towards that end and go into those holes for more cable management. I'm honestly like a little worried about all of this working, but you know what? Let's do it. What I'm gonna try to do is connect all of these cables into here and then install that underneath and then put in the power supply. Now because my cooler is a little greedy, I have to pop out this bracket right here that comes with my case and pop in their own stuff, front and back. And these are gonna hold the cooler off just a little bit, just to make sure it's not touching it too much and it gives it a good amount of space. Jesus. That took like 2 minutes trying to get this thing out. Alright, honestly I'm only gonna do 3 screws because there's no way. There's literally, look. There's no damn space. I'm literally just gonna have to wing it just like that. 2 screws in. 1, 2. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I should have done my research a bit better. So there is a 3.0 connector that was in the way that won't let me install the radiator. I'm gonna get a cable extender so I could squish it into that hole and squeeze in the radiator and screw everything in, work on cable management, and see you guys in a bit. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Look at that, it all fits. Woo! So I'm not gonna lie, this will be incomplete though. One thing missing is just my extender. If I can plug this in here behind this without this getting in the way. Sorry, that. Alright, so once the cooler is installed over the processor, I just need to pop in the PSU, connect all the cables, and voila. So I didn't realize that there was actually already liquid in there. Look, you see the water bubble? To see it's already spinning, that's how you know if it's Gucci or not. So what I have to do now is apply thermal paste to the processor itself. Get this bad boy off, plug it in, screw it, and this comes at a later time to figure out what the hell that does. Yo, I'm really not sure how much to put on. This is scary. Alright, at this point I'm being a little too generous. I think that should be good. Alright, I'm trying not to tighten it too much so it doesn't crush my whole ass processor. Oh man, Jesus! You know what? One thing I need to make sure is there's no cables running into these fans. This one should be PCIe. And it's all connected. I hope I'm not missing anything. So there have been a lot of derailments and things I should have looked up better. So like for example, this needs to be turned upside down. And I don't have a problem with that, it's fine. But the point is, it gotta fit here. I really have to squish it to get it in. Pause. Don't fucking blow up. Don't blow up, please, Jesus. Oh, where is it? You know what? It wasn't even plugged in. And? So far this is my 3rd sitting. I did not realize you can take the case off. I mean the front panel, because it looks like it was welded and there was no screws, but you just pinch, hold on, focus. These little 2 thingies right here. Yo, if you keep looking outside, so I'm definitely gonna move stuff around. I know this cooler was definitely squeezing everything there, so I'm gonna try to install it vertically and see what's going on. I did have to move a lot of cables, so I'll give you guys an update in a second. Alright, so as you can see, my cable management is far cleaner than it was before. Everything is nice and seated, everything's clear. And everything on the back side is obviously a big mess, but I'm gonna leave the PC out while I test it, and we'll see how this goes. And here goes nothing. I'm gonna plug in this. Will it turn on? Alright, so this is my 4th sitting. I wasn't really taking this as a sitting, I was just kind of relaxing. But I literally forgot you have to press the power button, even if the thing doesn't turn on when you switch it. So, yeah, look. It's definitely working. I'm just not seeing anything on the screen. I'm just gonna keep letting it run for now while I research how to fix this display. Man! Yo, all I did was Well, I made sure the CPU cable was fully pressed in. So maybe it was angled off like a millimeter. And then I switched one of these cables. Oh, I switched the LED lights from a system fan to the CPU fan. So maybe it wasn't receiving enough energy to power on. I'll figure out how to get the lights on later, but look at that, my boys. Alright, I do have a very busy day during this session, but I did pick up this 4TB Barracuda internal drive for the bad boy. I have everything on this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So I know I've been going back and forth and it does work, but I'm just now putting the final touches on everything. I got myself a better, more fitting power unit and speaker. Alright, I'm looking a little ill today, so I don't think I'll show you much of the swapping out, or you can probably see from an angle. Well, I am playing music, so I gotta avoid that copyright. And of course, before you do anything, you always gotta test the power supply, which I'm gonna do the paperclip test with. Alright, just a quick reminder, the reason I am replacing this is because my old one, if you remember, does not fit in my case. And I think I may have overpowered the whole shit because it's 1050 watts, and my max capacity I think is 400. So I figured I'd just settle with this one, 850. Alright, let's do this. 2, 1. Oh, look at that! Beautiful boy right there. Now it still runs after a while, that's just the energy still cycling through it. Now, doing this is a little difficult. I'm gonna unplug first, right? And there's the paper clip. You see that, boy? Oh shit! Now the first thing to do on this end is to unplug all the old shit. I'm slowly unplugging everything, but also reconnecting the new cables in each cable that I take out, so I know exactly what goes where. Oh hell no, this is too small. Too small. This is silly, but you really need to check the exact types of all of this. Because they look very alike, but they're really not. Alright, my camera's being a hoe, but you see the difference here? Oh, look at how smooth that went in. Wow, man. Whoa! Whoa. Did you stop? 3, 2. Motherfucker, so I switched the power supply cables. Let's see how this works. 3, 2, 1. Man, I had low confidence that was gonna work. I'm gonna try the method where I take one RAM stick out and see how it works. Because last time I did it with one RAM, I booted up the whole PC. Why are you looking at my hand? Out, and let's see how this goes. I did not flip the switch. Oh, that's supposed to plug in! You fucking idiot! You're not even looking. So this Molex cable from the system fan needs to be plugged in, and this needs to get plugged into this. I am stupid. Alright, ready? Please. Sweet Jesus! Man, so nobody told me that when I had put in the other RAM stick back in, I forgot to put this cable right back into where the hell I just told you. Alright, never mind. So I had to move it from its cool spot here to down there in a little slot. This looks nasty, but honestly this is the best cable management I've had. I've tied everything by areas and what they are. And everything on the inside looks neat. Now the real question, is this gonna work? Now I do indeed have a very messy workspace, but get off my back. This is just step 1. And then it's the whole room. I know I've owed you guys that video for a real hot minute actually. Here we go. Here we go. Where is this? Alright. 3, 2. There we fucking. This is my build, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just give me 1 second to tidy all of this. Shut your mouth. And that's the end of this build. This took me about 4 sittings and a combined total of, I would say, 8 to 9 hours. This is still part 1 of the room because I have all of this stuff that I've been replacing. As I've said before, I don't really know much about building PCs, but look, I got it done. Very, very special shout out to my boy Kmar, Peter, and my boy Danny. Now, theoretically on your own you can build one of these, but you really need a lot of references. I can answer questions in the comments, but in general, I'm going to list the videos I've used in the description below. My purpose and my reasoning for spending so much on this is because I actually want to get into animation at a later point, and also have a computer that can last me a really long time. I have a MacBook Pro, but if you have one, you know its limits, and this is just something that's very, you know what, when it gets to rendering, when it gets to long term, I need this, and it's not going to feel old. This is what I've settled down with. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed my sufferings, and catch you guys in October with that vlog about my whole room layout, because I've made some moves. But don't worry, I'll put stuff out before that. See ya!